Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another presentation from the Fall 2020 Network meeting of the Illinois P20 Network. We have three strands in the P20 Network: college and career readiness, research and data, and equity. And this presentation is part of our equity strand. We're very pleased to share with you information about Parent University. Northern Illinois University has a pretty vibrant role in migrant education and supporting all kinds of families and all kinds of learners throughout Illinois. And we're so lucky to have with us today Susana Das Neves. And I'm going to turn it over to her, let her introduce herself and walk us through Parent University. Susana?
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone, for checking this video. And as Jason said, my name is Susana, and I'm the coordinator for Parent University and also the director for Migrant Education Services for the state of Illinois under the Center for P20 at Northern Illinois University. And today I am very honored to be able to walk you through and share Parent University model and what we're doing at NIU and in the communities of DeKalb and Sycamore to support our Latino parents. Next. So throughout the presentation, you'll see a couple of slides that will have parents' voices as a way of having them present in absence. Because that's one of the main core values of Parent University, giving voice to the parent. So this is one of my favorite quotes. For me, Parent University has been a motivation to believe that our children can become a better version of ourselves. Parent University is a unique opportunity because we are creating new knowledge that help us, that helps our present and future. So this is just a quick overview of what parents have taken away from Parent University. Next. So we have parent education programs, and you talked before, you know, the center, the network, P20 network, also focuses on college readiness. But when we talk about college readiness, we immediately just think of the children or the students. But college readiness should also be for the parents. You know, if you can flash back to your first day of your kid's school in kindergarten and then the first day of college. And I feel that Parent University helps bridge that continuum from kindergarten through college. Next. Parent University models are very diverse. But they also serve as a bridge between parents and community and the schools. It teaches parents how to support and advocate for their children, and they're also very diverse in the implementation based on the school districts and communities' cultures and needs. Next.
So let me interrupt real quickly. That last point, there's not just one right way to do Parent University. That's what that's saying, correct, Susana?
Correct. Yes. You know, it's based on the demographics, the culture, and also the culture of the community, not only of the school districts, but you know, how supportive is the community for any kind of initiatives that you want to do out in the community.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. So the Center for P20 engagement model, it targets Latino parents of students attending DeKalb and Sycamore public school districts in grades K through 12. And then the program delivers a series of workshops to assist Latino parents in three main areas, which focus on self in terms of personal leadership and career development, relationships with the children, and of course the parent engagement in the school. How we've been doing the recruitment of parents has been very grassroots approach. We've gone to where they are, giving out flyers to the churches when they're coming out, at parent nights, at BPAC meetings, informational sessions in public libraries and such. So we go to them and tell them the story of what Parent University is and what it's all about. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So the main objective is providing a learning community that will increase parents' personal career and leadership development, so that we can encourage them, so that they can then have those tools so that they can continue to support and encourage their students' academic success and transition to post-secondary education. The overarching goal of Parent University is to strengthen a college-going culture among Latino families. As underrepresented groups, and due to the diversity of their culture and depending on how long they've been in this country, a lot of the times in the Latino culture, college is not viewed as an opportunity for all their children. Sometimes, they encourage more their male child, but not so much the girls, right? So this opens an opportunity to bridge that cultural gap in terms of having parents support higher education for both, for their boys and girls, right? And we can go to the next one. But what really makes this model different from others is that the focus is on the parent as an adult learner. If you can click again. So if we equip the parent, as they tell us to do that in the airplanes, to put our oxygen first, so that then we can assist our little ones traveling with us. Parent University gives that to the parents. We are the oxygen to the parent so that they can feel confident, develop those advocacy skills, those leadership skills, so that they can support and pass those skills to their children.
That's a great analogy. That's just really a powerful analogy to help us understand why working with parents helps us with our students' educations too. So thank you for sharing that.
Right, and and this is another quote. It is important that parents and teachers know about these kinds of groups where they can organize to receive this kind of supports and get information on how to improve our lifestyle. So that's, and these are their, parents' voices. So we can go to the next one. And we click again. So the parent professional development focuses, as I said, individually as an adult learner to meet their personal needs, their aspirations, their goals, to practice empowerment and validation and self-advocacy. And as the parent, we focus on reviewing how to navigate the school system, how to be engaged in the school in their education of their kids, and connect them to community resources. But we also function, we look at this from the approach of knowledge base and not knowledge deficit. Because I put myself in as example. I was born and raised in Mexico. All my schooling up to college was in Mexico. I came to this country to get my master's. I graduated. I'm now a parent. We stayed here. And I have some kind of knowledge on how education works, but based on my experiences from Mexico. But I had to learn how to navigate the K through 12 system in the United States. My oldest is a junior now, and I couldn't, I wouldn't let her go. I wouldn't send, snow pants to, when she was in kindergarten, because, I'm from Mexico, my husband is from Africa. We do not get cold on purpose. So I would not let her go because to go outside and play, they needed the snow pants and the snow suits and stuff. And And it was on first grade that the teacher said, she's the only one still not playing. We don't let them go out unless it's a certain temperature. And I said, oh, okay, you should have started with that in kindergarten, right? So then my younger one, who's now a freshman, she had the collateral benefit of me learning that from my oldest. So, and as we work with parents, we need to see where they're coming from, and with the diverse population we have in DeKalb and Sycamore, we need to make sure that parents know when you get them out to school. It snowed, this example might sound silly, but it made a huge difference, for the second child, because she started.
Well, and one of the things
reindeers.
that's so challenging about that is it's very difficult for educators really need to look at themselves and what just things they don't even question about the school environment. So for example, in my case, I've lived in Chicagoland my whole life, for the most part. I mean, I've been lucky enough to live in a couple of other places for short periods of time, but I grew up going to school in Chicagoland. I grew up with two parents who were teachers in schools in Chicagoland. So the thought of knowing, oh, I need to help explain how recess works, that may not occur to a lot of teachers, right? Unless they've had some of these experiences. And yet it's incumbent on us as educators to own that and to really look through all of the things that we just assume about the school day and the school year and help educate families about those things that they may not know about because they just don't have any experience with it.
Right. Or making assumptions that because I'm an educated person, I should know. But my experience in the school system started when my daughters started kindergarten here, as a parent.
We could even have those differences with families that, for example, speak English and move within the United States, right? I mean, there are such large regional differences that these are important things to think about when we think about culture and about the differences of all of our families. And so that snow example, yes, you're right. On the one hand, it seems less important because we're not talking about literacy instruction, but on the other hand, it's critical and it's definitely related to social and emotional learning and socialization. I think today, most educators would understand it. So that's a great example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess we could go to the next one, I think. So, parents, we need to also, we want to back it with some research. Marciano talks about how parents need as much professional development as teachers, staff, and school administrators. We had expected parents to know how we wanted them to act, but parents need training and support too. Like for the longest time, another example, I thought the school improvement was that they were going to be painting or cleaning and stuff like that. And no, it is professional development for the teachers. So it took me a couple of years to understand that it was that. Because, they're cleaning again, they're painting. And then I would go to the school and it's like, they didn't do anything. Why do they have an off day? But again, it's that acculturation kind of process of learning how things are done in a different country or state or district sometimes, right? So another one. So as I said, it's a trifold approach: parent, personal growth, focus on self, leadership, development, self-advocacy, empowerment, goal setting. And it's very important to make sure that we do acculturation and not assimilation. And because parents are always asking, how do we keep the language, because they're spending too much time in the English only, and they have friends and they start talking to us in English and we don't understand. So having them make that, find that balance of acculturation, because we don't want folks to assimilate. We want to acculturate. The importance of navigating the school system and also assisting them with the transition to post-secondary education, it's very important. And out of this need, we have a spin-off program that's called College Prep Bootcamp for Parent University. They meet once a week on a Saturday, and we go through career exploration, how to choose a college, majors, college visits, all kinds of things. And then parenting, parenting styles, family, health, wellness, communication, family philosophy. And again, as a family, as parenting, acculturation versus assimilation, because culturally, there's a lot of differences in raising your child or how you run your family that may not be very acceptable in this society, in the United States. So helping parents understand, the social norms and things that could potentially impact their family wellness, and all of these, I think you can go to the next slide. As I said, the parent curriculum is focused on parents as adult learners, honoring them as subjects of their own learning, because I learn from them. They have children that are older than mine, and I learn from those experiences. They've been in this country more than I have, and I learn from those experiences. And knowing that, they refer to me as la maestra, the teacher, but I'm also a learner with them. And for them it took a little while for them to recognize that they're facilitators as learners, and I am a facilitator and a learner at the same time, because we're in this very tight learning community that provides them with that safe space where they can share their experiences, ask for suggestions, ask for support, questions, and also giving them the power of being part of the decision-making process. They decide what, when, and where they want to learn, and they engage in that dialogue and reflection so that we can really engage them in transformation. And the key point for any program would be to make sure that the programming is culturally relevant. This approach has worked very well with the Latino population. All the sessions are in Spanish. All the presenters, I would say like 90% of them, all come and do their sessions in Spanish. The few topics that we cannot find a Spanish-speaking presenter, we translate in Spanish. And parents are good, and they also can start practicing their English at their different levels. Mm-hmm. But it is very important because when I started in 2016 recruiting and giving information about Parent University, the first question they asked me is it in Spanish? Mm-hmm. And the second question, do you have childcare? And the answer was yes, and we've had an average of 25, 30 sometimes, depending on the topic and how work situation is, their schedules, but an average constant, maybe about 20, 25 parents, and they've really developed a lot of that sense of belonging, basically, mm-hmm. that as immigrants to this country, including myself, it's so important to feel connected to the community. So.
Yep, working on programs like this in two different school districts. Myself, you're right, those two questions, though I think I found them in the opposite order, which is the childcare question first and the Spanish question second. And some of that may be because in both cases there was some assuming that it was going to be in Spanish, actually, as I reflect on it. But those are two key questions, and probably going to be consistently important, not necessarily Spanish, but whatever language,
Exactly.
working with different kinds of immigrant populations, and childcare is going to be absolutely vital throughout many different kinds of communities, whether they're immigrants or not. And so really, really important components, and a great way to build community, because a lot of times some of the childcare can be provided in part by older high school and community college age students who can actually be developing their own kind of career experiences in the process of providing that childcare. So there's a real sense of community that can emerge when you build all that in together.
Right. Yeah. And I lived it firsthand, you know, when my sister was diagnosed with cancer, a very aggressive cancer. I left to Mexico, and these parents organized themselves, the women, so that they brought dinner to my family for 3 weeks. Whether it was pizza, whether it was tamales, or very elaborate meals with notes on how to serve it and how to prepare it, how to heat it up. But they took my family as one of their own, and because I left suddenly and was away for 3 weeks, and they came and fed them. They would drop off the food, you know. That
is a very powerful testament to their relationship with you, Susana, and to the community. Yes, you're right. That's been built.
And they do the same for others, you know. So it's, you know, one of the comments said, you know, before I would just pick up and drop off my kids at school and didn't talk to anybody. Now they have a book club, and they have a folkloric dance group for the women who are interested. They have exercise. They get together in the park with their kids and they go walking. You know, they used to go more often, but not with COVID. But they have that support. You know, it's amazing how, you know, I've witnessed their growth since they started in 2016. Some have come and go, but if they want to stay, we have some that are going on their, you know, 4th year, and so it's fine. So let's go to the next slide. I think there's a couple more. And another key point is to have those partners in your community. Obviously, who are your gatekeepers? Where are you going to hold this program? So we wanted to meet the needs of Latino parents in DeKalb and Sycamore school districts. So we met with the administration and the superintendents and the bilingual coordinators so that they can help us enter their space. Obviously, we have Northern Illinois University, the various departments at the university, Northwestern Medicine, Kishwaukee Hospital, that have supported us with lessons on how to manage diabetes, which is a high risk in Latino population, how to read your numbers. It was a volunteer activity because you had to go and draw your blood. It was volunteer, and those who went, they learn how to read the numbers also in when you get their lab results, what they mean and such. Kishwaukee Community College, we went there and everyone went. We had a room for the parents to learn about the certificates, the GED, the basic adult education programs, and then the secondary and middle school and high school kids went to do a presentation on how to apply to Kish and how it works and all of that. We had the president of Kishwaukee Community College come and talk to our parents on our first year. And she took notes, and the parents said, we need a English lesson, an English course that's between the beginning and the intermediate, because you send us to the intermediate and we still need some support. So like a beginning and a half or something. Mm-hmm. So we have the buy-in and the support of our community, which is great. NIU students volunteer to help us. They get trained and they facilitate STEM lessons while the parents are in class. They help with homework if needed. Local businesses, Hy-Vee, Tasco, Burritoville, they help us with snacks and stuff to give the kids. And then also very important in our community is to have the support of immigration and family law firms that come, pro bono and provide all kinds of resources and information. And then we have the Illinois Latino Council on Higher Education that I'm Vice President for Professional Development in that board. And, that's that connection to higher education and mentors. And when we have our annual conferences, we have them at different university campuses. We've hosted it here at NIU at, I think it was in 2016 or 17, I don't remember. But, the last time it was online, it was at Illinois State. So we travel and the parents go and their high school kids go and they have that experience of being at different campuses. They also come to NIU and we go into the open houses, and they've gone to see the residence halls, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. So they get that exposure, and parents are feeling a little bit more at ease in letting them go away, So if we can go to the next one. So it is an experience that provides the opportunity to learn with an excellent dynamic group and find out about aspects around our community. After living in DeKalb for almost 6 years, I was not aware of resources. Thanks to this program, I am now aware of opportunities for our children. And what this is, we don't do things for the parents, we connect them to the resources. We provide them with the information, the knowledge, so that they can take action for themselves and feel that empowerment. Oh, I don't need to call Susana or Araceli to connect me. I know I can now just call here and learn about this other resource. Or sometimes they learn of things, of resources that we're not aware, and they share them. We have a chat group in WhatsApp, and there's this resource, go now. It's only until 2:00 or something. If you can, let me know and I'll go, So it's just the sharing of new information that's going to help everyone. So we can go to the next one. And with, some outcomes that I can share is that, what I said, community resources, connecting them, they have now the confidence to engage in their children's education. At the end of the academic year, I have a conversation with like the bilingual coordinator or some of the administration and the Calvin and Sycamore school districts, and they said, is it working? Have you seen a difference? And they say, yes, we see now parents coming more, asking more questions, feeling that they can participate in activities and those kinds of things. So, you know, they have, and I think the key point is here, that sense of belonging, regardless of their immigration status, they all feel very welcome because nobody is judging. And with the narrative that's going on around, you know, with immigrants, migrants, you know, this is very, very important. And I feel that we have made it a place that's safe for them to share, if they feel comfortable, of course, their immigration status, so that we can help them in the different ways, either for themselves or for their children, you know. So that has been a key point as well. The milestones that we've accomplished so far are the creation of that college prep boot camp. We have helped students, and now they're at U of I, at Loyola, at in Indiana. Forgot the name of the university, but they're doing things, these kids, you know, and the parents are being supportive. We have kids that are at Kish, you know, and they want to go to NIU, and they're planning to transfer. And so, you know, again, but the main thing is to know, if you're part of an institution of higher education, parent university is not a recruitment tool. But if they ask me about their interest in NIU, I'm not going to say no. I'll give them the information and connect them to folks, so that they can hear it from admissions or whatever the need is, right? But parents do not feel pressure that, oh, they have to go to NIU. No, you know, it is a community engagement or a community outreach program. And we have the advantage that we have all these resources at NIU. We connect them with STEM camps, you know. Parents also learn from each other. We have this series where if they have something they want to share, that they learn anything, you know. We had one of the parents works in the cafeteria at the high school, and she shared the different lunch menus, because there was a question about, like, they always come hungry. What do they feed them, and how do they do this? And so she talked. It was wow, you know. Or somebody read a book, a self-help book, and then she shared what she learned and those kinds of things. There's a network group of women, you know, between friends. They participate in conferences as participants and facilitators. These parents who never thought they could speak in public, they're presenting at state level conferences, like the Bilingual Parent Advisory Committee, the Bilingual Summit Conference, and also the ESSA, the Every Student Succeeds Act, you know. And they talk to, you know, the Bilingual Summit, they talk to their peers because they're parents, but at the ESSA conference, they talk to the administrators and the school officials. At the Latino Council, the ILACHE conference, the ILACHE is using Parent University model to launch their Academia de Padres since 2017. So that's another thing. And then we have the parent leadership team that it comes and goes, but they're there. They're taking that role. We want to have this. We want to have that. You know, they wanted to see this very good motivational speaker from Mexico, Cesar Lozano, and so it is expensive. So I asked them to submit an essay to let me know why do they want to go, and we had outside committee, not me, I didn't read the essays, and they selected 8 parents. So that could go based on their thing, on their essay. And then, that have that compassionate welcoming committee that stem out of when my sister was sick, and they've taken charge of that. So, so that's some of the milestones, and I think that's another slide, I think. Lesson learned so far is that we need to involve the parents in the process, strengthen and develop partnerships with schools, community groups, agencies, institutions of higher education, community colleges, etc. Recognize and address barriers, things outside the box, location, time, and day, what time works, because, people, we've been trying to do something, but they don't show up. Well, just like I never show up to the YMCA mommy and me swimming because it was at 9 in the morning. I was working, or the reading with the dog at the public library, because again, it was at 10 in the morning. I cannot take my kids. So think of the parents. And, if you have the only time I said, I can meet any day of the week, Saturday or Sunday, but not on Monday night. That was the only time. And then it's a negotiation, but I gave them, there's more of them and it's just one of me. So I accommodate. So make sure you respect their spaces if you really want their engagement. Location, time and day, the language, childcare is a key. I cannot stress that enough. But we also have some boundaries, because we rely on student volunteers. So I had to make sure that the children we take care of are already potty trained. I didn't want anybody to be changing diapers, because that's a whole new conversation, a whole different conversation.
And that's a pretty common approach for programs like this, to draw that line there. That's been part of, again, my experiences have been very similar to that.
Right. And and then respecting parents' needs, develop curriculum based on parents' needs assessment. It's very important. That's what we do the first day of class at the beginning of each school year. We ask them what they want to learn. What are their needs? Because I tell them, if you already know how to make, how to drive, why would I teach you how to drive? So tell me what your needs are, so that we can develop that curriculum. So at the first few sessions, we teach, we offered some general sessions like navigating the school system, or some health information, some general topics that will give us a couple, 3 sessions, so that we can plan based with their needs assessment, with the speakers and such, the facilitators. Develop a sense of belonging. Nobody knows more than anybody else. We are all equal in this learning community. Being flexible. We start at 6. Sometimes I'll be arriving at 6:30 when we were meeting on Thursdays. A lot of Thursdays is when schools have their choirs and activities. They finally decided, okay, we're missing too much. Let's switch it to Monday. Majority rules. It was discussed, agreed. Now they meet on Mondays, 6:30. The reading group starts. The book club starts at 6. At 6:30, we start with Parent University, and then connecting with community resources. And keeping everyone involved and happy, because that's key to the success of any program with parents, I believe. And I think there's one more. it has put in our hands knowledge and resources that if we learn how to take advantage of them, will make us as immigrants not only persons with stronger self-confidence, but also a stronger community. Again, they belong here. And another one. And then the last couple of slides are some photos. We do a Christmas celebration, a traditional posada. It's a potluck, so lots of very good food, a piñata, and then the community supports them and sponsors. These are 2 women that were part of the ESA, and then at the bilingual parent. And they're here. I don't know if you recognize the lady in red. Is Antonia Darder. They had a special session with her at Northeastern Illinois University at the Olache conference. This is in the classroom. We meet at the high school, at the DeKalb High School in the forum, and we use the cafeteria as the childcare space. Here is one of our participants at the Bilingual Summit. This is at Kishwaukee Hospital with a healthy cooking class. They learned to make tacos with quinoa and lettuce as a tortilla. And this is at Cinco de Mayo celebration in Sycamore. We participated as a community organization with a piñata making booth. It was a huge success. I didn't know it was a reward for the most engaging program, and we had a nice donation from the Cinco de Mayo Foundation. And again, here we're at the kitchen in the hospital, and they're doing math, numbers, counting carbs, counting calories, and there's a group picture from that Cinco de Mayo and our t-shirts. It was a lot of, almost felt like a little competition because who made the most, they made their own glue with flour and water. And so it's been a great experience for them and for me as a facilitator.
Well, that is wonderful. If people have questions about it, they can certainly get in touch with me and I can pass them along to you. Sure. Again, I can always be reached at jason.klein, Klein @niu.edu. Susana, this is a great model for a starting point for different organizations, school districts, community colleges, universities throughout Illinois to respond to the needs of their communities, and then again, to develop their specific programs, their specific parent university programs based on the needs of their own communities and with the involvement of those parents in their own communities. So you've really stressed some critical things there that we'll take away from this. We really appreciate you participating in this year's, again, second different P20 network meeting of the year by having us do it online. And so thank you for your involvement, and thank you to everybody who watched today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.